Welcome to the Savage Productions YouTube channel.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Savage Productions YouTube channel.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hey, man.
We've been busting butt on this 427 here. We already did a bunch of work to it today. We've just kind of been focusing on getting some stuff knocked out, getting stuff done. I wanted to not so much focus on the recording, just kind of show you the progress that we've made already. So let me get the camera turned around and I'll show you what we've already done. Over the last week, Dad actually put the gear in, and this is what, a Yukon differential? Just
Yukon, I think Yukon Racing?
Yeah.
Yukon.
It's Yukon gear and axle, I think it is.
Axle. Yep.
Whatever it is, but it's like a stronger housing. It's not like a locker or anything like that. It's just going to be a little bit stronger. He didn't want a locker or any kind of spool in it because he's going to be street driving it a lot. So he did want it to be a little bit strengthened. That way it doesn't tear apart the rear end with all this power coming from this 427. But the orange stuff right there is just gear marking compound, making sure you have the right run out on the gears and stuff. We actually have a few videos kind of detailing how to do all this. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click on the top right over there if you want to see how that's done. We do a lot of gears here at Savage Performance. This is our shop here in Hebron, Kentucky. And if you don't know, this is a 427 swap Fox body that we're working on. It's kind of been a little bit of a long-term project. It's a 351 Windsor stroked out to a 427. It's actually a Boss block, so it's a Ford Racing Boss block. It's a lot stronger than a stock 351. And yeah, we're just doing lots of stuff on it. Right now we're working on the rear end. We already got the gear in, like I said. We put the axles in. What axles are these? These are also Yukon, right?
Yeah, it's a matching set of Yukon gear. They're 31 spline. These are actually C-clip axles.
Yeah.
We wouldn't go with C-clip eliminators because he's not going to make this a drag car. He'll go to the track from time to time, but even though they're C-clip, you could have a hard time breaking these. I mean,
yeah.
they're beefy, man. They are beefy. Look, and these rotors fit perfect over the center of the axle.
Yep.
So these axles came with new studs and everything.
Yeah, so this brake kit's actually pretty cool because it has the 4 and the 5 lug pattern on it. I'm actually going to be getting these discs.
See, if you look on the back, you can see the bracket.
Yeah.
The bracket is also a caliper bracket and these brackets are specifically for a Cobra, 93 Cobra.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. We got 93 Cobra calipers, reman calipers.
Yeah, we also did the Cobra brake kit on the front. Oh yeah.
They're actually Ford calipers, remanufactured, very hard to get.
Yeah.
And we got them with the brackets, which actually this is the right side. I already got the bracket on.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I got to tighten it up, but it comes with the anti-rattle clips and everything for that bracket.
Sweet.
And then new pads. So
yep. And I'm actually just about to lay a bead of silicone, and we're going to put the valve or the diff cover on. Valve cover. I said valve cover because I'm used to Trick Flow valve covers, but this is a Trick Flow brand diff cover. It's actually really nice. The bottom bung that it has in here actually has a magnet on it, so that is the drain hole, and then there's also another one that has an Allen key in it, and that goes right here, so you can actually use that one for filling. If you aren't familiar with these kinds of diff covers, so they call these load studs. They're currently backed out all the way right now, but what you do is you put the cover on, you tighten up all the 10 bolts around it, and then you actually screw these studs in to where these little kind of pivoting bolt heads or stud heads actually goes up against the cap on either side. So it'll press up against here and here. You tighten that to 10 foot-pounds, and then there's nuts that go on the opposite end over here to keep them in place. And what that does, it keeps force pushed against the caps this way. That way it just kind of keeps everything locked in place. These are really nice, especially for drag racing or any kind of high horsepower applications on your rear end. You might want to look into getting one of those if you don't have one. But Dad's over here with arguably the best stance I've ever seen.
Well, these are, they're actually, they don't look like it, but they're...
I was talking about your physical stance.
It's like, should I lift the car up or not? You know, what the hell?
Yeah, well, you got to look over it sometimes, got to look under it.
Yeah, so they look the same, but they're actually top and bottom. So
Okay.
I'm just wanting to make sure I have them top and bottom.
Cool. Another thing that we did today was got the bell housing cleaned up. This is a stock bell housing that we actually just put in our parts washer and cleaned up, even the inside. Cleaned it all up. We do have a SPEC, what is that, Stage II?
Stage 2 plus.
Stage 2, the SPEC Stage 2 plus clutch in there.
670 foot-pounds.
670 foot-pounds.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so yeah, that'll be really good for this application. Yeah, so we got the clutch in there. Obviously, the flywheel is already on. We did have to take this this header back out. We hadn't had it tightened up yet, so it wasn't that terrible of a deal. Went ahead and put the bell housing in, got it all tightened up. We cleaned up the starter, and we're waiting for it to dry before we put it in. We might actually put a different starter in it just to kind of double check that it's going to start up okay with all this extra mass. But we also have the transmission right here, which we cleaned up just a little bit. We didn't spend too much time on it because he is actually going to replace the transmission eventually. Well, not even eventually, pretty much when he gets it back. Well, we're going to go ahead and stab that up in there once we're kind of done with the caliper brackets and whatnot. But I just wanted to show you everything before I put this diff cover on, because that's what I'm about to do right now. We're going to use the gray Permatex, or ultra gray Permatex gasket. We typically don't use the paper gasket that comes with these. We always just use this. So we're going to lay a little bead on there and go ahead and let it sit up, tack up for a little bit, then put this on and tighten it up. Transmission is in. We actually have to get a new speedo thing for it because we don't have the one for this car. Yeah, transmission cross brace is in, everything's in. We got to tighten this up once we get it back on the ground, and I think we're doing new O2s, so we don't have those yet.
Yeah, we still got the original ones, but I just want to do new ones.
Yeah,
Everything else is new.
yeah, pretty much.
They're not that expensive.
Pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else the owner pretty much wanted to be new.
Yeah, I mean, I think the original too, like 70-something thousand miles on this car, so
Yeah.
they're pretty inexpensive. These type, so might as well just get new ones. And hell, I can just get Ford ones too,
Right.
instead of cheap ones from AutoZone.
Yep.
We'll get the original Ford.
So we got this caliper on. We're trying to figure out how the bracket for the hose that connects here mounts to this. The one that we got is actually for, what is it, a Super Coupe?
No, it's the same. I just looked them up. It's the
Same part number?
Either for the Turbo Super Coupes, no, Turbo Thunderbird Coupes.
Okay.
Like, what was it, 84, 85?
I don't know.
Anyway, they have the same disc brakes as the 93 Cobras.
Okay.
So the hoses is the same between the Turbo Coupe Thunderbird and the 93 Mustang Cobra.
Huh.
Same one.
So
We just-
they
there's a
should
left
work.
in there, so.
They should work somehow. We just got to figure out how. But yeah, freaking calipers look great on there with the rotors. Everything looks really nice. We went ahead and put the diff cover on. Got it's not tightened up yet. The actual gray RTV is still setting up, so it's just kind of flush. And I have a timer going right now, and in about 20 minutes we'll tighten it all the way up. Went ahead and put the bottom bung in, and then left this open. That's where we're gonna fill it. But yeah, man, freaking, it's looking good. Made a lot of progress on this today. I think we're gonna come back tomorrow and actually fill this up, get it all done, completely done, get these tightened. We actually have the rear tires right there and one front tire. The other one is on back order. And then we have the rims in the other room. So we'll spend tomorrow mounting up some wheels, put the rear ones on, and the rear will pretty much be done. Well, we won't be able to bleed it actually, because for the front there's a adjustable proportioning valve that we don't have that's going to go right, oh, you can't even see it, it's going to go up there somewhere. But it's the one that goes to the rear, so we can't bleed it. So we might as well not even put the tires on, but we'll get them mounted, get them all done. He's going to use the rear sway bar, so we can put that on. I think we have to paint it up because it looks like trash. Actually, yeah, it's sitting right over here. We might paint it up a little bit, not sure. But yeah, the rest of the thing's looking really good. Coming along pretty nicely. We got to get a drive shaft for it. Apparently drive shafts right now are something that you just can't find for these things. They're pretty much sold out.
Well, yeah, they're like freaking, it said sometime in September.
Jeez.
So we're gonna have to call Cincinnati Driveline. I'm gonna call them, give them measurements, and just have them make this one.
Yep.
It may not be aluminum, but it'll freaking handle the power.
Okay, so we're back on a second day. We have a few little updates to share. This is torqued down. The studs are screwed in all the way and torqued. The nuts are also torqued. The fluid is filled and the plug is in there with the thread sealer. On this side, we also have the brake caliper on and done. Dad figured out a way to mount the line on this side. So he cut the bracket a little bit, formed it here, drilled a hole, and it's going to be mounted here. And it bolts right there, kind of snakes in around here, not kinked too much, and then it'll come out right here. So on this side, as you can see, the line kind of goes back and then it does all this stuff to eventually kind of pop out way back here. He actually cut the line off, and we're using our double flare tool. It's really bright right now, you can't see, but double flare tool to create a flare to where it'll go in there, flare up against that, and then this actually screws into here. So pretty much just cut the line off and kind of making our own little kit, just because the hose that we got wouldn't work. We were having some issues with our double flare tool. This is the kit here. This holder wasn't holding the line as well as the holder that Dad had on an older kit, of course. Had to use this holder and some of the tools from the double flare kit, and we got the flare in there correctly. So as you can see, it's going to mount it in the spot, and like I said, cut off right there, and we'll screw it in. It should work. We also got the tires mounted on the rear wheels. We are waiting on one of the front wheels to show up, so we're just going to do that at a different time. But these things look good. These are the Mickey Thompson ET Street SS's. Dad's ran these on his car before. They do pretty good, around 500, 600 horsepower. Not so much anything really above that, but they're good drivability ones on the street. And we'll actually we'll put one of those on here so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So that's about what it's going to look like right there. We went with the Weld drag lights. The owner wanted these kind of style rims for his drag setup just because he really likes the old school look. I mean, with the 5-lug, he could have had many other options, but he's going to get another set of wheels for this thing when he's kind of cruising it around on the street. But he figured we'll get the drag setup on there for now. They're actually really affordable. Even though Weld went up on the prices for all their other rims, these are pretty affordable. But it's going to look really nice once it's all sat down on the ground. Some nice meats behind it, and should hook pretty well. If you're wondering, these little red caps here, they go into these alternate holes and hold in this plate. It's like a steel plate that goes between the two pieces, and whenever you tighten down the lug nuts, that plate keeps it from crushing the whole wheel. And these little caps actually keep it centered when there's no lug nuts in there. So they're kind of important to keep in there. Back in the old days, you know, they used to buy extras so they could fit it in all the other holes. Or, you know, whenever the wheel's on, you technically could take them off because the lug nuts are centering it. So we'll see what he wants to do. But for now, just gonna have two. And of course, the wheels do come with center caps. The center caps are just in this box. So didn't want to put them on just yet because we're gonna be taking it right back off. But Dad got this one done. It's looking good. Got it all tightened up. Got that tightened around it and got it off of the corner of the rear end so it doesn't cut into it. and then we'll be tackling this one later this week, get this side done, and hopefully get the proportioning valve in so we can actually bleed these brakes and mount the tires on last thing. So these are directional tires, and I think I have them on backwards, which doesn't matter right now. But we'll have,
that is the right side.
yeah, we'll make sure we do it right when we put it on. But yeah, transmission is in, like I said, and then the only thing really before the complete drive line is done is getting the drive shaft. And like I said, they're kind of low on supply right now. I have to wait to see what we can do there. The other thing we have to get is the emergency brake. We have to get some lines and figure out what to do here. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's another thing that we have to do. So we have that to do. The emergency brake, of course, finishing up these brakes, drive shaft. We're going to do the fuel system before we do the exhaust. So run fuel system all the way up. We're doing a Stita clutch line, right? Yeah, we have a Stita clutch line, so that's going to replace this. Well, that's a Speedo cable. It's going to replace this. And then some stuff up top. So this thing's really coming together. Made lots of progress this weekend on it. Pretty proud of what we've done, aren't you? Mm-hmm. The more progress for this thing is going to be coming in a future video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on this project, or really any of the other projects that we have going on, we got some pretty interesting cars in the shop now. We're actually going to be doing a complete motor rebuild on this thing. It had some issues, so we're going to be doing a rebuild on it. We're going to get this thing running. This is pretty much it's a 65 Mustang convertible, 289 car. We're going to be doing new brakes and getting the engine running and everything. It's pretty much a Survivor. I'm pretty sure this is original paint and everything.
Yeah, it's been 20 years.
Yeah, Dad says, the owner said that it's been sitting for 20 years. So we're going to try to get it running properly for him. Hopefully we don't have to go into the bottom end. He said when he parked it 20 years ago, it was running. But yeah, brakes are seized up on it and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get to that here soon. But we'll have videos coming out on all of these different projects. So if you want to be caught up on any of these other things, hit the subscribe button and like the video if you enjoyed the content. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you all in another video.